Hi everyone, Isobel here from AgriWebb. Today I'm going to show you how to create a rotational plan using Feed on Offer with our Grazing planning add-on. So I'm going to head to my Grazing tab on the web app. I'm going to head to Create Rotation. Here I'm going to select my plan type of Feed on Offer. Next I'm just going to name the rotation. I can also assign it to either myself or a staff member to let them know that they're responsible for the upcoming movements. I'm going to choose a start date for today, but you can forward plan your rotations. I'm going to set a target rest period of 45 days. This can be adjusted once you're in the rotational planner. And I'm going to choose a rotational end date because that just is what works for me, but you can also choose a rotation period instead. Now I'm going to select my mobs. If you're on our individual platform, you would select individuals. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose some cows and save that. Now that I'm in my rotational planner, what I can do is go ahead and start choosing paddocks that I want in my rotation. So as I'm choosing my paddocks, some of the information is filled out. So I have the hectares of the paddock, the days since it was grazed, so whether it's a long period of time or if there's animals currently in it. It then grabs today's feed on offer. So this is either from your manual feed on offer entries, or if you use SIBO, it'll grab the latest feed on offer that they have. We then have the pasture growth rate, which is the most recent pasture growth rate entry that you've made, but you can also update it here, which I'll show you in a second. We then have the target residual feed on offer for each paddock, so all my paddocks are set to 500. We have the forecasted entry FOO, so this is how much FOO is going to be in the paddock on the date that those animals go in. As you can see, it is the same as today's FOO because we're assuming that the grass is growing in a flat line. If I was to add in pasture growth rate, this will change the forecasted entry FOO. Not on the first paddock usually, but on the next paddock, it will change the forecasted entry FOO. So as you can see now, the forecasted entry FOO has increased because we're suggesting that the grass is going to be growing every day at 20 kilos of dry matter per hectare per day, which takes it up to that 2,079 entry FOO instead, which has also increased our grazing days. So these grazing days are worked out from the feed on offer using the animal load up here, whether that's LSU or DSE or AE, the pasture growth rate, the target residual we want to leave behind, then determines how many days we can graze this paddock for. So here it's 15 days for this first one, so I can either do 15 and it's going to leave 557 FOO in the paddock once I've grazed it for 15 days. If I don't want to leave that little in the paddock, I can adjust this and say I only want to graze it for 10 days, and then my forecasted exit FOO is going to be higher. So the grazing days are denoted by the green bar, and then that grey bar is the rest days. As you can see down here, there's an orange bar through this paddock. So what this is a conflict with a different rotation that I'm running. So the animals would be in the paddock with those other cows altogether, and we probably wouldn't be honouring the rest period of that paddock. So either I can move it down to later in the rotation because those cows may have moved out of that paddock by then, or I can just go ahead and choose a different paddock. So as you can see here, this one's filled out with 12 grazing days, and there's no conflict now for rest. So I'm just going to save this now. As you can see, the rotation is set up, so I can go through and start it from here. But what I want to do is go over to the mobile app and do a quick sync. I can go to my livestock tab and then grazing rotations. So I have my active rotations and then upcoming ones. So here's my cow rotation I just made. So what I want to do is go in and start the rotation and move those cows into that first paddock of my rotation. So if I hit start, I can see it's selected the date, the two mobs that I had in my rotation, and the first paddock. So I can click save. And now those cows will be in that paddock and the rotation has moved to active. So now if I go ahead and look at the map, I have my 600 head of cows in the first paddock on the rotation. And if I look at the grazing tab, I can see my graze plan, and I could move them out from here, or to make it easier, we've also put upcoming moves in your task list. So here I can see all the upcoming moves in my rotations. And so on the 9th of December, I have to move those cows from South Junction, the paddock they're currently in, to Northport. So on the 9th, all I need to do is just go in and click on that. I can hit move in. Then I can either save if all the data is correct, or I can go ahead and change the paddock, change the date, or change the mobs or individuals in the plan. If I do that, I can also change the entire rotation length by either shortening it or extending it out. So it's super flexible to use. We hope this has been helpful.